Good evening. Today I want to talk about a choice, a simple yet profound decision we face every single day. It's the choice between saying, one day I'll do it, and declaring today is day one. Think about it for a moment. How often do we say, one day I'll start eating healthier, or one day I'll write that book? One day is comforting. It gives us the illusion of progress while we stay exactly where we are. But let me tell you, this one day is a thief. It steals our dreams, one excuse at a time. Every day we are presented with choices that shape the course of our lives. Among the most significant is the decision between one day and day one. This decision might seem small or inconsequential in the moment, but it holds the power to define our future. The choice we make is not just about action, it is about mindset, commitment, and the willingness to step into the unknown. When we say one day we allow ourselves to dream without demanding action, it feels safe, doesn't it? It's as if we are making a promise to ourselves, but one that doesn't hold us accountable. We soothe our minds with the idea that someday we'll get to it. Yet this phrase is often a mask for hesitation and fear. The fear of failure, the fear of discomfort, and sometimes even the fear of success. It's easier to say, one day I'll start my fitness journey, or one day I'll pursue my passion, because it keeps us in the comfort of today. But comfort, while it feels good in the moment, often becomes a cage. On the other hand, choosing day one is an entirely different story. It's not just a statement, it's a declaration. It signals that we are ready to stop wishing and start working. The beauty of day one is that it doesn't require perfection. It doesn't need us to have every answer or know every step. It simply asks us to begin. Taking that first step, no matter how small, sets a process in motion. It transforms intention into action and moves us closer to the life we envision for ourselves. The decision to make today day one is not always easy. It's uncomfortable. It means stepping out of the known and into uncertainty. It means facing the resistance of our own doubts and the skepticism of others. Yet this discomfort is where growth happens. Every successful person has experienced a day one moment. It's the moment they chose to start, despite their fears, despite their doubts, and despite the obstacles ahead. The power of choice lies in understanding that one day and day one are worlds apart. One is a delay, the other is a commitment. One keeps us in the realm of dreams, the other brings those dreams to life. This choice isn't about waiting for the perfect conditions, because let's be honest, perfection is an illusion. If we wait for everything to align, we'll be waiting forever. What matters is deciding to start right here and right now with what we have. Choosing day one doesn't mean the journey will be easy, but it does mean the journey has begun. And that's what separates those who achieve their goals from those who merely talk about them. It's not talent, luck, or resources, it's the courage to begin, to embrace the power of choice, and to say, today I'm taking that step. Perfection is a concept that holds immense allure. It whispers promises of certainty, of achieving the ideal, and of making no mistakes. But in truth, perfection is one of the greatest illusions we face. It paralyzes us, keeping us from moving forward because we believe we need everything to be just right before we begin. Yet the reality is that perfection is not only unattainable, but also unnecessary for success and growth. How often do we find ourselves waiting for the perfect moment? I'll start that project when I have more time. I'll apply for the job, but my skills are flawless. I'll start working out once I find the ideal plan. These thoughts seem logical on the surface, but they are often excuses cloaked in the guise of preparation. We convince ourselves that by waiting for perfection, we are being smart or cautious. In reality, we're simply delaying action out of fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of stepping into the unknown. Perfectionism thrives on fear. It tells us that unless we can do something perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. This mindset robs us of opportunities for growth. The truth is, no one starts at perfect. Every expert was once a beginner. Every masterpiece began as a rough draft, and every success story is filled with missteps and course corrections. Progress is messy, but it is in that messiness that we learn, adapt, and improve. Imagine a child learning to walk. They stumble, they fall, they get up again. They don't wait for the perfect balance or timing to take their first step. They simply try. And through trial and error, they eventually master it. Yet as adults, we often forget this innate understanding. We hold ourselves to impossible standards and let the fear of imperfection keep us from trying at all. The illusion of perfection also blinds us to the beauty of the process. When we focus solely on the end result, we miss the joy, the lessons, and the growth that come from the journey. Each misstep and each challenge overcome is a testament to our resilience and determination. These moments build character and confidence far more than achieving a flawless outcome ever could. Moreover, chasing perfection can lead to burnout and frustration. We set ourselves up for failure by aiming for an unattainable ideal, and when we inevitably fall short, we're left feeling inadequate. This cycle erodes our self-esteem and can make us hesitant to pursue our goals in the future. Instead of striving for perfection, we should aim for progress. Starting, even imperfectly, is infinitely better than standing still. Each step, no matter how small or flawed, moves us closer to our goals. The willingness to embrace imperfection is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who remain stuck in the illusion of what could be. The world doesn't need perfect, it needs people who are willing to take action, learn, and grow despite their imperfections. Perfection is a seductive ideal. It promises a sense of control, an absence of flaws, and a life without missteps. Yet it is nothing more than an illusion, one that often holds us back more than it propels us forward. The pursuit of perfection is like chasing the horizon. The closer we think we are, the farther it moves away. It creates a cycle of endless striving, leaving us feeling inadequate and stuck. Many people find themselves waiting for the perfect moment to act. They say, I'll start when I'm fully prepared, or I'll try when the conditions are just right on the surface. This seems logical. Why risk mistakes when we can wait until everything aligns? But here's the truth, the perfect moment doesn't exist. Conditions are rarely ideal, and waiting for them only delays progress. Life is inherently messy, unpredictable, and imperfect. Progress is not about waiting for perfection, but about embracing the imperfections and moving forward despite them. This fixation on perfection often stems from fear of failure, fear of criticism, or fear of not meeting expectations. We convince ourselves that if we can just get everything perfect, we'll avoid these uncomfortable experiences. But in reality, imperfection is not the enemy, it is part of the process. Growth happens through trial and error, through missteps and adjustments. Every mistake teaches us something valuable. Perfection, if it existed, would rob us of those lessons. Consider the world's most successful individuals, whether artists, entrepreneurs, or athletes. None of them began their journey with flawless execution. Their success is not a result of perfection, but persistence. They started where they were with what they had and refined their craft over time. The first painting, business plan, or performance was likely far from perfect, but it was a start. That willingness to start, despite imperfections, is what sets them apart. The pursuit of perfection can also lead to paralysis. When we focus too much on getting everything right, we often fail to take any action at all. This is the paradox of perfectionism. In trying to avoid failure, we fail to even begin. The fear of not measuring up keeps us from exploring our potential. Instead of striving for greatness, we remain in our comfort zones, dreaming of what could be, but never daring to find out. Momentum is a powerful force. It has the ability to propel us forward, turning small, consistent efforts into significant achievements. Yet too often we hesitate to start because we're caught in the trap of perfectionism. We convince ourselves that unless we can do something flawlessly from the very beginning, it's not worth doing at all. This mindset is not only limiting, but also counterproductive. Progress is born from momentum, not from waiting for the perfect conditions or execution. The beauty of momentum lies in its simplicity. It doesn't demand perfection, it only asks for action. Taking the first step, no matter how small or imperfect, sets the wheels in motion. That initial movement creates a ripple effect, making each subsequent step easier. Momentum thrives on consistency, not on grandeur. It's about showing up, putting in the effort, and trusting that the process will lead to improvement over time. When we focus on perfection, we often set ourselves up for failure before we even begin. The pressure to get everything right from the start can feel overwhelming, leading to procrastination or inaction. We wait for the perfect idea, the perfect plan, or the perfect moment, but in reality, perfection is an illusion. The world rewards those who act, not those who wait. Momentum, once created, carries us through the challenges and imperfections, allowing us to make progress even when things aren't ideal. Think of momentum as a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, almost insignificant, but with each turn, it grows larger and moves faster. That's the power of compounding effort. The first step might feel like it takes an extraordinary amount of energy. But as momentum builds, the process becomes more natural, almost effortless. The key is to keep moving, even if the steps feel clumsy or insignificant at first. One of the most significant benefits of momentum is that it creates confidence. Each small win, no matter how minor, reinforces our belief in our ability to achieve more. Success breeds success, and momentum makes us feel capable and motivated. On the other hand, waiting for perfection often leads to self-doubt and stagnation. The longer we wait to act, the harder it becomes to start. Momentum also fosters resilience. When we prioritize action over perfection, we become less afraid of mistakes. We learn to view setbacks as part of the process rather than as failures. Each step, whether successful or not, becomes an opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. This mindset not only accelerates growth, but also makes the journey more fulfilling. It's important to remember that momentum doesn't require a grand start. Often, the most transformative changes begin with the smallest actions, a single decision, a brief effort, or a minor adjustment. These small steps, repeated consistently, lead to extraordinary results over time. Perfection might feel like the ideal, but it is momentum that drives real progress. It's not about doing everything right, it's about doing something now. Beginnings are rarely easy. They are often marked by uncertainty, awkwardness, and a sense of vulnerability. It's easy to romanticize the start of a journey, picturing ourselves confidently stepping into a new endeavor and succeeding effortlessly. Yet the reality is far more challenging. The discomfort of starting something new is an unavoidable part of growth, and rather than fearing it, we must learn to embrace it. The discomfort comes from stepping into the unknown. When we begin anything new, a project, a skill, or a lifestyle change, we are immediately faced with our inexperience. This can be humbling, even intimidating. Our initial attempts may feel clumsy, and the gap between where we are and where we want to be can seem impossibly wide. But this discomfort is not a sign of failure. It is evidence that we are stretching ourselves beyond our comfort zone. Growth never happens in the realm of the familiar. One of the biggest challenges of beginnings is overcoming the fear of judgment. We worry about how others might perceive our early efforts. Will they notice our mistakes? Will they think less of us? This fear can be paralyzing, but it's important to remember that no one begins as an expert. The master artist once painted clumsy strokes, the accomplished musician once hit the wrong notes, and the successful entrepreneur once struggled to pitch an idea. Everyone starts somewhere, and no one escapes the awkwardness of being a beginner. The discomfort of starting often comes with a heavy dose of self-doubt. Questions like, am I good enough, or can I really do this, arise naturally. But self-doubt is not a reason to stop. It's a sign that you care about the outcome. The key is to act despite the doubt. Confidence isn't a prerequisite for starting, it's a result of starting. Each small action builds momentum, and with it, a sense of belief in your own abilities. Beginnings are also uncomfortable because they force us to confront failure head on. The early stages of any journey are filled with mistakes, setbacks, and moments of frustration. It's easy to view these as reasons to give up, but they are actually opportunities to learn and improve. Each failure is a stepping stone, providing valuable feedback that guides us closer to success. If we avoid the discomfort of beginnings to escape failure, we also miss out on the lessons that come with it. There's a unique beauty in the discomfort of beginnings. It is a raw, honest place where potential exists unshaped and untamed. This stage, though difficult, holds immense power. It is where resilience is forged, where creativity is sparked, and where the foundation for future success is laid. By embracing the discomfort, we honor the process of becoming. Starting is never perfect and is rarely easy, but it is always worth it. The discomfort we feel in the beginning is a small price to pay for the growth, learning, and achievement that lies ahead. Each uncomfortable step brings us closer to where we want to be. The act of reflecting on the future is a powerful exercise that can shape the choices we make today. It forces us to imagine a version of ourselves years down the line, standing at the intersection of who we are and who we become. In this reflection, we ask, what legacy will I leave behind? Will I be proud of the steps I've taken, or will I regret the opportunities I let slip away? This process of looking ahead creates clarity about what truly matters and serves as a compass for our actions in the present. When we picture our future selves, we're not just dreaming of outcomes, we're evaluating the paths we take to get there. Imagine looking back 5, 10, or even 20 years from now. Will you see a trail of one days, filled with plans postponed and dreams deferred, or will you see a journey defined by day ones where you took bold steps toward your aspirations? This imagined reflection can be both sobering and motivating, as it lays bare the consequences of inaction and the rewards of commitment. The future often feels distant, a concept too far away to hold urgency. But the truth is, our future is shaped by the small, seemingly insignificant choices we make each day. Every decision to take action or to avoid it compounds over time, creating a ripple effect that determines where we ultimately land. The future is not some abstract destination, it is the cumulative result of today's efforts. Reflecting on this truth helps us understand that while we may not control every outcome, we do control the steps we take toward our goals. Regret is one of the most powerful emotions that can emerge during future reflection. It's not the mistakes we've made that haunt us, it's the chances we didn't take. Opportunities passed by, relationships not nurtured, and dreams left unexplored leave a heavier weight than failure ever could. When we think of our future selves, it's important to ask, what risk am I willing to take to avoid a life of regret? The answer often lies in courage, the courage to start, to try, and to persist despite the fear of failure. Future reflection also brings into focus the values and priorities we want to uphold. It helps us cut through the noise of daily distractions and align our actions with what truly matters. If we envision a life filled with health, success, and meaningful relationships, we must ask ourselves whether our current habits support that vision. Reflection isn't just about imagining what we want, it's about holding ourselves accountable to the steps that make it possible. When we reflect on the future, we see the person we have the potential to become. But that person doesn't emerge by chance. They are shaped by the choices we make today. The power of this reflection is not in its ability to predict the future, but in its ability to inspire action in the present. Our future self is watching, waiting, and hoping that we make the decisions now that will lead to a life of fulfillment and purpose.